Hello YouTube and welcome to Katrinka LOL. And I want to thank everyone who commented on my last video where I was asking for your ideas on what you thought of the additions that I'm making to the channel. And those additions are wellness, incorporating nursing and exercise physiology wellness, and also I wanted to include mental health counseling information, and that would be for educational purposes only. And then the other thing would be scarves and how to tie scarves and head wraps and all that kind of thing. And I'll be taking you on an adventure with me with that. So I hope that sounds like fun, because it sounds like fun to me. So anyway, I thought today I would start at the beginning. But before I do that, I'd like to ask that you post in the comments, any questions you have, any ideas for videos, things that you'd like to see, and I'll see if I can accommodate that. All right? So the beginning. My first degree was in nursing. So this is how it happened. I was a freshman in high school, and one afternoon I was coming home from school on the train and started to feel very unwell. And I had never felt quite like that before, didn't know what was going on. So I got home and was still feeling unwell, and then pain started. It was abdominal pain, and I was like, what is this, So the entire weekend I was in agony. However, I'm very stoic. So people can't always tell how much pain I'm in or how unwell I feel, because I tend to be on the stoic side. And if you see the story about when I had the flu recently, that was part of my stoicism, that I just kind of went through it, So anyway, my mother, I was only 14 years old, so my mother called the pediatrician and told the pediatrician that the pain was on the left side, but actually the pain was on the right side. And there goes the dogs. So she didn't want to bother him again, so she didn't call him back when I said, it's on the right side. Does that make a difference? So I suffered through the entire weekend until Monday. And then on Monday, I got dressed. I wasn't going to school, obviously. I got dressed, and then I felt a sensation in my stomach, and I didn't know it at the time, but I had appendicitis, and the appendix had ruptured. So we went to the hospital, and I was in the emergency room, and so this is all related to the story of how I became a nurse. So I was in the emergency room, and they do triage in the emergency room. Like they take people that they think are the sickest, or they're bleeding, or there's major things going on with them. They take them first, and then the people that seem okay, like a stoic person, they let them go for a while. So I was sitting there with the ruptured appendix, being all stoic, and so it took a very long time to finally get taken care of. So when they would check on me, they'd like peek in the room, and I was still sitting there. So when they came in to finally get me, I fainted. And so the doctor finally arrived, and he examined me and said, this is appendicitis, and we think it's ruptured. And he took my mother aside, and he said, we'll see if we can save her. At that point, my mother almost fainted. So that just goes to show you how terribly stoic I am. It can be helpful and not so helpful at the same time. All right. So anyway, I went through this experience and I was okay. It turned out to be a miracle because this doesn't always happen, but something came, like white blood cells that encapsulated whatever had ruptured and kept it from spreading. So that's why I'm sitting here today, I think. So thank God for that. So anyway, as I was in the hospital, I was, intrigued by everything that was going on. I was intrigued by the machines and the nurses and their uniforms and all that was hustle and bustle going on. So I decided that I wanted to learn more about the hospital and so on. So when I got better, I signed up to be a candy striper. I don't know if they have candy stripers anymore, but they're young volunteers, and they wore these pink and white striped outfits and went around delivering flowers and water to the patients and books and different kinds of things, and I really enjoyed that. So that was my first experience, going around the hospital and stuff, and I really enjoyed that. So I decided I wanted to be a nurse. So when I was a senior and I was deciding where to go to college, I picked a college that had a good nursing program. So fast forward into I was accepted, and fast forward to my freshman year, and we had introduction to nursing, and then the second semester was when we actually started. And in my first clinical, that was in the newborn nursery. So in the newborn nursery, that's when I was introduced. And I remember it. I remember all the students standing around the instructor, and she talked to us first, before we even started, about hand washing procedures and how important hand washing was. And before that, I really didn't know about how important hand washing was. I think today we know, but back then, this was a while ago, we all really didn't know that much in detail about how important it was. So anyway, that began a lifelong, just a total lifelong hand washing expedition for me. So anyway, I keep my hands clean. So that's how I became a nurse. And in my junior year of the program, it was a 4-year program, we were allowed to take the LPN boards, and I did, and I passed, and I became an LPN. So I was a nurse before I even graduated into the baccalaureate level of nursing. So I graduated then, and then I studied for the baccalaureate boards, and I passed those, and then went into the hospital experience. So it's not to make this video too long. I'm going to incorporate some of these stories into the nursing part of the wellness playlist. So please comment, please like and subscribe, and let me know what you think and what you want to see on this playlist. And we'll see you in the next video.